So we're blessed this morning. I want to introduce a friend of mine and invite him to bring some remarks to our Ebenezer family. He is Senator Johnny Isakson, one of Georgia's most beloved public servants. Johnny Isakson I think he has the only distinction, the only person to have served in the Georgia Legislative House, the Georgia Senate, the United States House of Representatives, and the United States Senate. He is retiring effective December 31st, 2019. You may have seen the touching tribute that our own member, Congressman John Lewis, delivered in his honor a few weeks ago. And you may have seen his closing remarks. But I asked Senator Isakson, he and I talked a while ago about him coming. He's in the remaining couple of weeks of his tenure. He's no stranger to Ebenezer Baptist Church. He's here every year for the Martin Luther King celebration without fail. And he stays for the whole 4-hour service. He deserves a hand just for that. You know, some politicians come and then they step out. But he's been here 21 years or so without fail, stays for the whole service. And he and I are friends. We've had a good relationship and good dialogue across the years. He's a father and a grandfather. He's here with his lovely wife, Diane. Stand up, Mrs. Isakson. We're glad to see you, Mrs. Isakson. She said, yes. Would you give a great big Ebenezer welcome to Senator Johnny Isakson? He just wants to say hello and goodbye. We're grateful for his service.
Raphael, thank you very much. Raphael and I are on a first-name basis. We are great friends, and I consider him one of the great friends I've gained over the years in being in public life. That's the one thing about public life. You make lots of friends. You want to make sure, always sure they're not ones with their picture in the post office, but there were others at Ebenezer Church or some other good place to pray. But I'm glad to be here today to bring you a message, and I asked to come. I called Raphael and said, can I come? He said, well, you're leaving. I said, no, I'm not leaving. I'm just retiring. There's a difference. Leaving is the next step, and I ain't hurrying that one up in at all. But I wanted to come and just say thank you for all the things you've done for me over the last 45 years. I've been in elected office 45 years in Georgia. I was born here in 1944, and I've been here ever since. And love this city and love this place and love all of you. And as Raphael said, started coming to the King celebration service when I got elected Republican leader of the House, Georgia House, 28 years ago, or whenever that was, a long time ago. And I came because I thought I should, and then I came because I wanted to. And I came because my bladder could handle it. It is a long time to sit through, that's sure. But I come to tell you three things. One is chairman of the Veterans Committee in the Senate, as a veteran myself. How many veterans do we have in the congregation today? Raise your hand. Thank you. Thank you. For all of you who notice, that's more people proportionately that are in any other church that have served in the service. Less than 1% of the people who serve in our military today serve us as protecting us. Less than 1%. And they're all volunteers. Think about that. The greatness of this country is in large measure because we can depend on them at any point, any time, any place, no matter what somebody does. And just yesterday in Pensacola, a terrorist killed an American airman. They're in his second year of training. Another wasteful shooting on an institutional campus somewhere in our state. We've got to make sure that stuff stops. And as long as I have a breath in my body, whether I'm in elected office or not, I'm going to do everything I can to see to it that we get end violence in our schools, end violence in our shopping centers, and our Walmarts, and our churches, and everything else. taking a life is taking a gift from God to us, and we should never, ever do that, and we should confront it wherever it comes. So I promise you I'm going to do that. Second thing I promise is this. I'm going to do a little something every year extra for veterans. Raphael will tell you today when we came to his office, I said, when you pass the plate, and I've seen him, he passes the plate pretty well, so I know he does it 3 or 4 times. So I brought 3 checks. But anyway, I brought 1 check I already gave to him. I said, Raphael, this year at every church, I'm saying, why don't you do a little extra for your vets? So if you get asked for a little donation somewhere here or there around, look at who they are. If they're helping the vets, help them a little bit more. Our vets need it. Our largest contributor to veterans' homelessness today is coming out of the military. They don't have the education, they don't have the training. They have the education and training, but we have full employment, so they don't have a job. And the next thing you know, they're waiting in the streets or sleeping in a tent. So let's help them out a little bit. They've helped us. You and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them. And lastly, I want to tell you this. This is the greatest country on the face of this earth. You don't find anybody trying to break out of the United States of America. They're all trying to break in. We might have some complaints, but by gosh, we got a great place. And what ain't grace, we can make it better. And what's going to make it better are God-fearing people who love the Lord, support Jesus and the principles of Christian living, and do everything they can to help their neighbor. I've been very lucky to be a United States Senator, but I've been luckier to be a human being born in the United States of America and be a citizen of this country. So at this Christmas as it comes, I bless all of you for what you've done to support your country. God bless for being here at this great church today. And just remember this, whenever and wherever you can, help a vet. And where I can, I'll help a vet. And together we'll do all for our veterans who've done so much for us. So God bless you and your family. God bless the United States of America. And God bless Raphael Warnock.
Amen. Amen. Some of y'all look surprised when I said we're friends. We don't agree politically on a whole lot of things, but we're friends. And I've been his guest on a couple of occasions. He invited me to pray over the United States Senate a few years ago. I was glad to come and pray over the United States Senate. Still praying for the United States Senate. And for the House, and for the White House, and for all of our houses. But we're grateful. It's no small thing to offer yourself decade after decade after decade after decade for public service. So once again, let's give God praise for Senator Isakson and all those who serve. Amen. Oh, I almost forgot. He's a good United Methodist member and of Zion United Methodist Church, right, in Marietta. And so you with the Baptists today, we're a little louder and a little longer. But he knows how to come to church. When I stepped in the office this morning, he said, good morning, and he handed me a very generous check written out to Ebenezer Baptist Church to support our veterans program. Give God praise for that. It's prayer time in the life of the church.